Hi HCGers, HCG Berry Babe, checking in. It's Thanksgiving Day Eve. Today was day 2 in auto mechanics. I had a good day. The first group came in and there were really quite a few of them, more than I had expected, but the discipline guy had been around handing out bad boy you've missed too much school letters. So more of them ended up showing up than they thought were going to come. And they were just in a really good mood, and it was really nice not to have an agenda, things that I had to try and get them to do. So we were just able to chit-chat a little bit, and we ended up watching NASCAR, and I'd never seen it, and I didn't know anything really about NASCAR. So it was the history of it and about building the race cars and that sort of thing. So I was entertained. That was not very painful. We did finish watching the movie that we'd started yesterday with Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman, but there weren't any more sex scenes, so I was glad, because it's like I want to watch that again. The second session, one kid showed up. That was the small group anyway, and he brought work with him. And then we plugged in Smokey and the Bandit. Oh my God, I think that was set in the mid-70s, because there was a banner in one of the town scenes that said Happy Birthday America, and that would have put it at the bicentennial. And I don't know if I even ever watched that movie the first time. I was not a fan of Dukes or Hazzard, all that fast driving, crash 'em up. Not something I'm interested in. My husband was a Dukes of Hazzards fan, but maybe that was for the Daisy Dukes. I don't know. But that's kind of when we're looking at movies, I always know if there's going to be car crashes, these car chases, that he probably wouldn't mind going to that one, and I usually don't want to. So it's kind of nice when we do find one that matches. So that went well. So I didn't have to watch NASCAR. Then the third session, they weren't interested in any videos at all, and I only had 5. And the one girl that did show up and I just chatted the whole time. So it really was painless. It was kind of cold in the room. Usually I'm very warm, so I dressed light today. And my nose got cold, but I noticed my left knee ached a little bit. I have osteoarthritis in that knee, and the HCG really helps. And this is my second day off pellets. So I don't know if the HCG is leaving, because I had heard that for pellets 46 hours is like the RX is 72 hours. I don't know. But it's like I'm not looking forward to not having the HCG, if that's part of it. Forgot to give you my stats. I was down a net pound. I was up 0.2 yesterday, had no sleep at all. Today I was down 1.2, so I netted a pound down, 160.5. My goal was to see 159 something on Thanksgiving. I've had an excellent day food-wise. Not got in my water yet. I need to go do my water. I'm not anticipating any big crises tonight. I'm not expecting super cravings. I've got my fingers crossed though. My plan for tomorrow, Rilla and I were just corresponding texting back and forth, and she's going to vlog. We just kind of were talking, I don't know what she's going to vlog about, but she and I were talking about our planned interruptions and P3 and how we're going to handle the holidays. She's in Canada, so she doesn't have Thanksgiving tomorrow, which is kind of nice. She'll be available. But at this point, my plan is to stay with the current plan until I arrive at my sister-in-law's, and then I've given myself permission to eat what I want to eat while I'm there. My goal is, my tier 1 best outcome would be that when I walk out the door of her house, I'm done and I'm back on my plan. I would start the pellets probably tomorrow, Friday morning, get back on track. Now we are going to be in the town where my two favorite loading places are. A lot of things are going to be open on Thanksgiving that haven't historically been open. I don't know. I doubt we'll stay real late at my sister-in-law's. And I don't usually eat so much anyway, even on a day when I'm eating so much that I can't have dinner. So my ideal scenario would be that I would eat at her house and I would leave the eating there and walk away. The next choice would be if we were to stop for a meal on the way home, that I would stay moderate. I want to eat moderate at my sister-in-law's as well. And the bottom line is that when I walk back into my house, I am back on plan. I'm not bringing any leftovers for myself home. If my family brings home any kind of leftovers, they better hide them. And we've got a refrigerator out in the garage if they want to put stuff out there. I'm not going to go digging around there, but it's like courtesy to me, get it out. So once I walk back in the house, that mindset is I'm not cheating in my own home, which is a big deal. I mean, progress. I when I had first crossed 160 into the 159s, I'd taken a picture of the scale. And I've deleted it from my camera, but it's on my face page, and I think it might be in my picture file on my computer. So I'm going to try to resurrect that and put it up on my camera. You know how when I hold my graph, it's like I hold my graph and it's almost like a talisman? You know, and maybe having that 159 right there to hold on to, something tangible like a lucky stone, just might be enough. And then, Rilla's just a text away. So that's my plan for tomorrow. One of the things I wanted to address, there's been a lot of talk about family drama on Facebook. And I'm not anticipating any family drama tomorrow. This is going to be a real different Thanksgiving for us. My sister-in-law, this is the sister-in-law that used to have Thanksgiving at her home. My brother-in-law, my husband's brother, died 2 years ago, so she had one final Thanksgiving the year after he died. Then last Thanksgiving she had sold the house, so the niece who has Christmas had Thanksgiving, but that the sister-in-law's where we're going, all her kids didn't come to that one, and that's the only time we really see everybody all together, when there's a funeral or a wedding, or it was Thanksgiving, because everybody does that sister-in-law's family does their own Christmas. So okay, I'll get back on track. I lost my train of thought. Anyway, and we've also lost my mother-in-law. So we're going to be in my sister-in-law's new condo, so it's new environment. It's not going back to the same old place. Gee, we don't have Uncle Mike and we don't have Grandma. It'll be a new place, and so I think that will be helpful, but it will probably be subdued because this is the first year without Grandma, who was kind of the matriarch. And she had a lot of influence on the family, even though she was not overtly controlling. Okay, she was adored and was in full makeup most of the time, right up until the time she died at 96? Way up there. Born in 1919, you do the math. Anyway, things have sometimes been tense with the in-laws. I'm not anticipating any. We've been married 38 years. It's like I'm not going anywhere. But one thing I wanted to share, for those of you that anticipate there may be family drama of which you don't really want to be involved, but it's kind of going on around you. Years ago, I heard somewhere that the way to get rid of a salesman that was bothering you was to keep repeating the same thing over and over. And so I've used this over and over in many situations. I've used it with multitudes of clients. And if you ever correspond with me and I suggest scripting things, this is one of the things that you script. For example, when I was first married, before I was first married, living in the trailer where we lived after we were married, I was home alone one morning and two Jehovah's Witnesses came to the door. And they were real interested in saving my soul. And so I said, thank you, but I'm satisfied with my current religion. And they kept going and going and going. And the only thing I said, I didn't let them in, but I didn't shut the door in their face. I just said, thank you, but I'm very pleased with my current religion. Thank you, but I'm really pleased with my current religion. And finally it was like, she ain't going nowhere. So what this might look like, and I don't have a clue what's going on where you are. You can do this for yourself and say, and no matter what happens today, I will remain calm and collected. That could be your mantra. I know how connection between the food and the relatives. My mother, bless her heart, she's been gone at least 5 years now, but she could trigger me. You know, she wired the food feelings thing for me. And there was one rare time she was at my house, and it might have been at Christmas, when I had all this stuff planned and I had bought those big bakery things special, and then she arrives with tons and tons of food. I did my thing, and she's coming in and bringing more. Anyway, here's the story. I had these, they were a bar, all kinds of bars now, but back then we didn't have a lot of bars. I was sugar-free, and food, I'm going to say food, had raisins and nuts and stuff in it. They called them frookies or nookies or something like that. So I would go and talk to my mother, and then I would come out to the kitchen and I'd take a bite of the the fruit bar. And I'd eat that, and it'd be like, okay. I'd go in and I'd talk to my mother, and I'd come out to the kitchen and I'd eat. And then I went in and talked to my mother, and I came out to the kitchen and I ate. And I knew what I was doing. I couldn't stop it, but I knew what I was doing. And that was 20 years ago. And I was 285. I mean, I was high. I may even have been 300 then. I don't know. But I remember having a hard time even standing at the sink to do dishes. My hips hurt so much. I was so big. But if you're going to be involved in conversations and people are bringing up things you don't want to talk about, you might say something like, well, gee, I'm so glad you're here, but that's something I just really would prefer not to discuss today. My mother and I went through a thing where I said to her, okay, when you get on my nerves, I'm just going to tell you I love you. I love you, Mom. She'd say, don't you think you've had enough cake? I love you, Mom. And it's kind of like, out of my business, bitch. But you'd never say that to your mother. So if you need any help, then I'm here. And, it's not easy. And it's too bad that there are joyous occasions and that because of the people that we are getting together, the rhythms just don't fit. But I wonder sometimes if family that aggravates you is better than no family at all. Because as I get older and my relatives, I said to my husband, I want to be Aunt Grace one day. That's the woman, that's the married partner of the non-blood relation that they think of as an afterthought. And they pick you up and bring you, but you just sit and nod and smile, and then they take you home, and that's the only time they think of you the whole year. So I don't know why that came up, but I'm close to time. So if I don't talk to you guys again, if I watch Rilla, I may have to come back and do a rebuttal. But otherwise, I hope everyone has a happy, joyous day and is thankful for the gifts that you do have. Because, most of us are really blessed, even if we've got some stuff going on. So that's all for now. Bye-bye.